What's up, everybody? It's me again. Uh, so I just want to talk, a little bit. I'm a Seattle guy. Well, not Seattle, but Seattle, greater Seattle area. I'm from about 45 minutes north of Seattle. Um, most of my life I've been here. But today, Seattle's always been the kind of the hippie, between Seattle and San Francisco, they've been kind of known as hippie cities, whatever. And most of Western Washington is typically the hippies and the lefties and whatever. But I wanted to talk to you guys, and some of you aren't from, most of you probably aren't from Seattle, but those of you who are know what I'm talking about. But um, there's been some mounting concerns in the Seattle area, and it's troubling. It really is. And the first thing that I want to bring up is the homeless problem. Um, it's getting out of control, and nobody is doing a goddamn thing about it. Um, and I truly believe that the reason nobody's doing anything about it is so that they can generate more money and use the homeless problem as an excuse to generate more money out of the taxpayers, out of the government, out of wherever the fuck they can squeeze the goddamn money out of. They're going to squeeze it out of, and continue to do absolutely nothing. Um, those of you in the Seattle area, there's a radio station, 97.3. They do talk radio. There's a guy on weekdays from 12 to 3, the Dory Monson show. And I listen to his show as often as I can. Um, and he brings up a lot of these things because he's one of the few that actually bring to light the issues not only in Seattle but surrounding areas. And this isn't, I didn't just hear him spouting off about the homelessness problem. You can see it for yourself if you come into Seattle from either direction, north or south. You right along I-5, Interstate 5. You can see tents and garbage piles of shit and fucking drug paraphernalia and just mounds and mounds of shit. And as far as the fucking eye can see, there's homeless junkies in tents. And I'm not talking one or two tents. I'm talking like little communities of these motherfuckers. Um, and I got nothing against homeless people. Some of them aren't homeless because they want to be, but a lot of them in Seattle are. And they're coming in from all over the goddamn country these days. There's been documented cases where they've come into Seattle because the city that they were in said, you know what? Here's a fucking bus ticket or a goddamn one-way plane ticket to fucking Seattle, and they drop them off in Seattle with nowhere else to go. And here they become our problem. The fucking homelessness problem in Seattle has extrapolated in the last 10 years, and it's becoming an epidemic, a huge problem for the fucking city. And it's turned the Emerald City into the shit city, in my opinion. It's getting out of goddamn control. It really is. And the mayor, Ed Murray, he proposed $50 million a year to clean up the homeless problem, and it hasn't. Not only has there nothing been done, but it's gotten worse. They've done nothing to the point where the homelessness problem has gotten so bad that it's an embarrassment to the city. I'm embarrassed to say that I'm from the Seattle area. I really am. You drive in, people come in here for tourism and all that shit. They come in off the airport, come in, oh, look at beautiful fucking Seattle. And then off to your right, you see a tent. You see a shirtless homeless guy with dirt all over his fucking body. And then all of a sudden you see 5 or 6 tents, and you see a whole community of these fucking homeless people. who don't want any fucking help. They don't want fucking help. They just want to sit there and do drugs and rape each other and kill each other in broad fucking daylight. And it's become a problem. DOT workers, guys with great union jobs, it's gotten so bad that instead of working on roads, they're stuck picking up human fucking shit and goddamn used drug needles and drug paraphernalia and trash and anything else you can imagine. And piling the, and there's nowhere for it to go, really. State troopers, it's out of control to the point where they're responding to homeless junkies in the middle of fucking Interstate 5, I-5. These homeless junkies are starting to burrow into the street, creating these little fucking isolated areas to set up their fucking piece of shit tent, and it's causing the fucking roads to implode in certain areas. And then they got to shut down I-5, for a few hours till they get that shit patched. Just adding to the already brutal fucking commute of people trying to get in and out of the goddamn city. But there's nothing being done, people. Nothing. And, I was just on the city of Seattle, their fucking website. A bunch of bullshit that is. There's a job opening currently for the city of Seattle. The director of homelessness. The director of homelessness, the starting wages is $97,000 a year. Tops out at $160,000 a year, I believe. Oh, and there's numerous jobs on the City of Seattle website where I'm sure that they don't do a goddamn thing and they make their tea time by fucking 11 a.m. And they probably only work a real 10 hours a week. But there's a handful of jobs on there where starting salary is upwards of $100,000 a year. And what do they fucking do? Absolutely fucking nothing. Maybe there's a reason that the job is open. But I can tell you this, ain't nobody doing shit. And it's just a way to funnel money back into the city. And it's sickening. It really is. Another little treat for King County, Seattle residents is this Sound Transit bullshit. I don't know about any of you who've heard about it, but it's this. I live in Snohomish County. I don't fucking go to Seattle or King County but maybe 4 or 5 times a year, and that's to take my kids to the fucking zoo or the goddamn aquarium or go to the goddamn spaghetti factory. But Sound Transit is proposing this bunch of horse shit on the ballot this year for a $54 billion reform, or whatever the fuck they call it, to add on to the light rail system, to maintain the light rail system, to do whatever the fuck else. They want $54 billion over the next 20-something odd years. And the only way that they can figure out to get the fucking money for this shit is to funnel money out of the surrounding counties, being Pierce and Snohomish. So my tax-paying dollars for my property taxes or merchandise taxes, whatever the fuck, everything's going to get hiked so that those motherfuckers can have their $54 billion. Really? Well, there's only a small percentage of fucking people in Seattle that even use that shit. And it doesn't fucking clear out any traffic in the city whatsoever. If anything, it just adds to that shit. But me, living in Snohomish County, am going to be responsible for paying part of these fucking taxes. I don't even go to Seattle, and if I fucking did, I sure as shit ain't going to use the fucking light rail. Why? Because I live in Snohomish fucking County. That's why. Fucking A. $54 billion? Are you fucking kidding me? For something that doesn't even help the traffic situation? Fuck me. I can barely afford my property taxes now. Now you want to hike them up so that you can fucking maintain your piece of shit light rail? Give me a break. It's just government corruption bullshit. It never fucking stops. You know, Mr. Monson on the Dory Monson show, he he makes perfect sense. He really does. And I'm not advertising for his show or anything like that. Um, but these are things that you wouldn't hear about unless you listen to his show. They're not covered anywhere else. You don't see him on the evening news. You might hear about the fact that they want more money or that it's going to be on the ballot, but you don't hear that it's going to cost taxpayer dollars in Snohomish and Pierce County. And their justification is that we commute into King County. Really? How many of us? Do you have the numbers for that? I really want to know what the research is behind that. How many people from those surrounding counties actually use your fucking piece of shit light rail? Because a very small percentage of Seattleites use that piece of shit. But you know what? Whatever. I got to get off of that soapbox. Because it works me up pretty good. You know. But anyway, uh, that I guess that'll be it. I gotta go on to something a little more happy. Because this is just gonna ruin my fucking day. But anyway, we'll switch gears here in a little bit, and yeah, we'll go from there. Anyway, stay classy, Seattle. Yeah.